Hey there, Parker Reed here, and welcome to PR Media, your home for everything movies and music through my eyes. And today we have a movie review of the latest film from Marvel, Venom, Let There Be Carnage. In Venom, Let There Be Carnage, Eddie Brock tries to reignite his career in journalism by interviewing serial killer Cletus Cassidy, who becomes the host of the alien symbiote spawn of Venom, named Carnage. Going into this review, there are going to be spoilers, but I'm not going to spoil the mid-credit scene for you. It is a mind blower, and it had me like this. Oh my god! But I am going to spoil the rest of the movie, so you've been warned. I was a big fan of the original Venom, not in the traditional sense where I think it's a very good movie. I just think it's incredibly cheesy and a lot of fun. I think Tom Hardy is charismatic in the role, but I still feel like he's a little bit miscast. He's very much the macho kind of guy, so to see him play this bumbling journalist, it doesn't really fit him very well, but he does own it, and he shows a Ryan Reynolds in his Deadpool role level of commitment to this role in Venom Let There Be Carnage, and I had a lot of fun with it overall. On paper, it is a marked improvement from the first film in that they lean into everything that worked in the first movie and start to shy away from everything that didn't. And the things that worked were the comedy. Traditionally, Venom is a very R-rated character and very violent, so to make him more comedic is an interesting way to go, but they stick the landing here. There's a lot more punchy dialogue, there's a lot more banter between the two of them, and overall it was a very funny film, albeit not all the jokes hit. And they also lean into the action here, and the action is mostly in the third act, but when it is sprinkled throughout, it works really well. And one thing that really didn't work in the first movie is the overly dramatic and overly sappy plotline between Tom Hardy and Michelle Williams' character. That is still in this movie, and this movie does revolve around relationships, but it doesn't focus on them as much, and it doesn't make it so hallmarky. It is much more realistic as something can be in a movie about Venom, but it does play into the plot a bit more here, and I wasn't that annoyed by its inclusion. But that being said, this movie doesn't feel all that inconsequential. I don't know if I prefer it over the first movie. They feel very even to me. And the biggest problem I have with Venom Let There Be Carnage is the fact that it's only about 90 minutes. It's an hour and a half. You're in and out of there. I feel like there is some stuff cut out of this movie because there's obviously reshoots because Woody Harrelson's awful wig isn't in this version. And by the end of it, I was wanting more, and that mid-credit scene does show that there will be more in the Venom universe, but the first act does feel very rushed. It feels like they delegated all the action to the third act and plowed through the rest of the plot so we could have a movie. It doesn't feel like it needs to exist, albeit it was fun to look at, and I did laugh a lot. So to wrap up my thoughts on Venom Let There Be Carnage, I think it is an improvement on the first film. I think it outpaces it just a little bit, and it makes me excited for what Tom Hardy's going to do in the role of Venom going forward. Woody Harrelson's also a little bit miscast in this movie. I feel like they could have got someone a little bit younger to make him feel more like a contemporary to Venom rather than just a shoehorned in villain. It's not Amazing Spider-Man 2 bad as far as villains go, but it wasn't the best, and Woody Harrelson was a little bit wasted in this movie. And also, just a side note, this does feel like a bit of a retread from the first movie because a lot of it deals with the back and forth between Tom Hardy and Venom, and you're like, okay, who's gonna own the body? Who controls this? It felt like they had some finality at the end of the first movie, and they just kind of go backwards a little bit here. That does get resolved later on in the movie, but it was a slight annoyance, but I don't think this movie is going to be a slight annoyance for you. That's why my final rating for Venom Let There Be Carnage is a solid 7 out of 10. Not the best Marvel movie I've seen all year, but definitely not the worst either. And I think you're going to have a lot of fun with this movie. Go out and see it in theaters. I would recommend it. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked what you saw here, you can check us out on Facebook or Instagram. Like, comment, and subscribe if you so choose. My name is Parker Reed. You've been watching PR Media. Keep supporting physical media, and I'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.
Betty, you feel like home to me. Like family.
Oh, wow.
You could just say, I'm happy for you.
That was going to be us.
I am happy for you.
No!
God, I'm so sorry.
Not sorry.
This dude needs some serious couples counseling.